Hello. So in this video, we're going to talk about Joseph Oliviera and Flavio Nano Giron's districts. Districts of the Yokai. So this is a very new comic book. Just came out through a Kickstarter, which I helped fund. Set in Japan, Japan with a difference. So this is a Japan in which the yokai, who are mythical beings, spirits, supernatural entities, have returned to society. And the idea is basically that they had, gone to a particular island or lived on a particular island, and what we find out is that because of pollution, because of human activity, that island has become uninhabitable, and so they have returned to Japan. They've returned to sort of the human world, as it were. And initially there was a sort of tension between them. There's some violence on each side, and then the leaders of the yokai established a truce with humans that basically said, we'll control our areas, you'll control your areas, we will not, no one will commit violence against the other side. Problem is there are many sort of rogue yokai, or yokai who because they are immortal beings, don't feel like treaties with mortal humans really matter or really apply to them. So what we followed this guy. Trying to find his name. Nakamura. So we follow this guy named Nakamura. That's him. He was a former Yakuza assassin, like a top guy, like amazing assassin for the Yakuza, the Japanese mafia. But he has given up his life of crime, given up his life of violence. When his wife died, and he sort of vowed to protect his son. But in the opening pages of Districts of the Yokai, his son is killed by a rogue yokai. And so, Nagamura decides that he is going to get revenge. That is his plan. He is going to find the yokai that killed his son and kill that yokai in return. So, classic revenge tale, right? Classic supernatural revenge tale. So, initially he does not really know where to start looking, but when he gets into his car after his son's funeral, he meets this woman who immediately points a gun. She let me get her name. Here's my cat to join me. So she claims that she is also, I don't remember. I'm not going to be able to find where her name is. Doesn't matter for the moment. We're just going to keep going. So she claims that she is also on a quest to destroy the yokai because they killed her husband and stole her baby. There is, however, an important detail about that husband and baby that she leaves out in the initial telling. We'll come back to that, so keep that in mind. But she knows where the yokai hang out. And she's got some sense of like the yokai hierarchy and the way that their sort of governance runs. And so she is going to help Nakamura find his son. So they go, they interrogate an Ipondatara, which is that fellow right there. He is a messenger of the yokai, a sort of powerful dude. So there's a lot of them. He's a species, the Ipondatara. And they find this one. He's a powerful guy because he knows all the secrets. As messengers, that's what they do. So he is able to tell them where the particular yokai that Nakamura is looking for lives. And so they go to catch up with this dude at the strip club, basically. Interestingly enough, at the strip club, Nakamura is sort of taken aside by a Kakuchisake Onna, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong, slit-mouthed woman. So this is not exactly a yokai, but another figure from Japanese folklore, urban legends. She's a kind of terrifying creature. She's a beautiful woman who wears a mask to cover up her horrifically scarred face. Basically, she appears to usually men and asks if they find her beautiful. If she says no, then just straight up murders you. If she says yes, she takes off her mask, revealing her hideous, scarred face, and then asks again. If you say no, kills you. If she says yes, she slashes your face up so that you are disfigured like her. So we get her. There's her with her mask. There's her ass. So, fun stuff up in there. Another good little Japanese folktale, urban legend for people who are into folktales, urban legends, horror, etc., etc. Nakamura kills her, kills a few other random guards and whatnots of this strip club, and then goes down to the basement with the woman in green, who and they basically go to find the chief of this yokai group, which is this sort of ape-like dude on a throne with a pretty baller cape. So this is the leader of a kind of rogue faction of the yokai. He or she, I can't really remember, doesn't really matter, knows where the Hihi is, which is the particular yokai that Nakamura is looking for, because the Hihi is right there! And it attacks. So it attacks, kind of kicks Nakamura's ass a little bit, and then the woman in green shows up, and she takes off her hood for the first time, and we see that she is a yokai! So she's got this sort of large sort of venom, Spider-Man type mouth on the back of her head. Nakamura kills the Hihi. Woman in green kills the leader of this rogue faction of the yokai. And then what we learn at the end is that she is a yokai, but she had fallen in love with a human. The cat is screaming. I'm sorry if the mic is picking that up. She had fallen in love with a human, and their baby was half human, half yokai, which the yokai were not thrilled with. And so they killed her husband and kidnapped her baby because it was a, I don't know, interspecies baby, I guess. And that's actually an interesting element of this, because traditionally East Asian cultures, especially, I think I may be wrong about this, but my sense is that Japanese and Korean cultures are very much concerned with ethnic purity, right? Children who are of mixed parentage, even if that's like half Japanese and half Korean, for instance, those children tend to be social outcasts. They are much more, historically, much more likely to be subject to even violence from other children or other people within the community. And so this idea of purity is here sort of shifted from, and I mean, this was a big thing, for instance, for um, Korean women during the Korean War, or during World War II, for instance, when Japanese soldiers generally raped a large number of Korean women during World War II. But during the Korean War, for instance, a lot of American soldiers, British soldiers, Canadian soldiers, other soldiers from other armed forces in the conflict would have sex with Korean women. They were young men, it's what they do. And that often produced children, which was kind of a problem for those children because they were half Korean and half American or whatever other nationality. And so in this story, in Districts of the Yokai, that anxiety about interracial or international, interethnic children, offspring, gets displaced from the humans onto the yokai. And it's presented as this kind of, I don't know, maybe monstrous characteristic in the sense that they have killed someone and stolen a baby to try and prevent this from occurring. So it's an interesting comic book. I'd like to see more in the series. I think there is going to be more. We'll see where it goes from there, though.